I wanted to share.
Right.
Insights are insights. You don't have to share them, but you got some. That's good.
Very good. Okay, so here we are. We are in our summer class for anger management, and we are reviewing the homework that we had from last week. And what we're reviewing is when you go and meet somebody, like what are the five top memories that's your go-to identity maker? Like you meet someone, you're on a date, or you're meeting someone for the first time, and you're going to tell them your life story, and you give them your top 10 memories. And are they good memories, or are they trauma, or are they hurts and pains? So those are your identity makers. And what we'd like to do is kind of walk you through an identity buster. Like, let's bust that pattern. Let's recreate a story. Let's recreate memories. And so there's many ways of creating memories. And I was thinking, Tammy, that we would just go to our go-to simple, basic, how to rewrite the memory. So what we'll do is we'll go through the steps. And as we're going through the steps, you can, kind of insert your memory inside those blanks. So what we'll do is we'll just go through the whole thing, and then we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll see what you notice. What did you notice as you were going through your memory? So we're going to start with the basic fundamentals, which is Miss Tammy.
The basic fundamentals. Have a happy, something that lifts you up right away. So know something that you're like, oh, that's my mountaintop experience. It's my motorcycle riding experience. It's my, puppy experience, whatever it is for you. My grandchild, it can be a platypus or goats or anything, just something that you're like, I love this. It can be a woods or an ocean. So you want that happy memory. And then you want to notice what you notice about what goes on when you're angry. So notice what happens inside you, because we get angry, and what's the first thing we do is blame somebody, right? And so we want to notice on the inside what it's doing for us. Are you wanting me to go through that or tell you? Oh, you are muted.
Yes. Yes. Go through this, because I think what happens is
Okay.
when we go through our trauma, we forget about our happy memory. Like, that's the last thing your survival part of your brain wants to take you to. So this is what you really want to get it ingrained. So we broke it down as to how to start creating that muscle memory.
Right. And the other thing is, when you're really angry, you're going to be like, I don't care, that nothing makes me happy, right? That's normal. And that's why we teach tapping, because we just want to interrupt that feeling and help you get back to a good place in your life. Because from a good place, you are going to, everything else will be better, right? Your relationships, your body, your finances, and your career, everything will be better. So when you want to feel happy, you can write down a title here, and that way you've got what we want to do is give you kind of a toolbox of skills to go to when you need it. So when you want to feel happy, you're going to spend time thinking about what? Say the ocean, or a whale, or a
Platypus.
Platypus. I notice all the details of what I see, hear, and feel. So in other words, we want you to step inside of it. It's really easy to step inside bad memories and really look at it like it's like we're there in the present moment. But from a happy memory, sometimes it's a little more effort. So we want you to step inside and notice it like you're in your body looking out at this thing that you love. When I want to be happy, I laugh, and what makes me laugh the most. So know what makes you laugh so that you can use it for your benefit. Notice all of the details, the faces, the sounds, the feelings as your belly contracts. When you want to feel loved, what do you remember? I could put grandma in there, right? Maybe you have a grandparent or an elderly friend from when you were little that, you always felt loved around. So put that title there. I noticed all the sensations and what that does inside of me to feel loved. It's kind of expansive and those good feelings. When you need to feel good, you spend time doing what? So a lot of us have crafts or hobbies or things that we just have a passion about. So know what that is. All right. See it, feel it, breathe in the peace, and feel that good feeling of accomplishing whatever that thing that you love doing, spending time doing. And the feelings that help me feel best are knowing that I am. So some people say, if I am loved, then I'll finally feel good. And other people say, if I'm accomplished, I'll finally feel good. So know for yourself what feelings really make you feel the best. All right. It could be that you're important. It could be that you're very logical. It could be whatever it is that really gives you this I am feeling. And then have some ideas of what you love to see. Love to see ocean or woods or mountains, snow, sunshine. I love to hear. What is one of your favorite sounds? We're going to use these as resources for helping you get out of trances, the trance of anger that happens in your life. A trance means that your body knows how to do it for you, and then bada bang, you're already there, right? So these are going to help you. What do you love to see? What do you love to hear? What do you love to smell? What do you love to be?
You want to grab your partner's perfume and that makes you feel good. It's like, oh, that perfume makes you feel masculine or loved,
Yep.
or vice versa.
Right. And all of those things can instantly do it for you instead of you having to try so hard. If you're starting to feel getting angry and you pick up that cologne that helps you feel super loved, then all of a sudden you don't have to try so hard. And that's what we want for you. We want it to be easy.
Yep.
You want to do this part?
Yeah. And so now that you've solidified your happy memories, how you're going to be happy, what you're going to do, what you're going to practice, this is something you're going to always direct your brain to. This distraction part, or what we call defrag, you're interrupting that trance. So one of the best ways is to learn how you can get out of your own muck. How do you get out of your own funk? What is it that you have to do to get out of this anger, this frustration, this downward spiral, this whatever it is? You need to find what works for you. What is the best thing that gets me laughing are maybe funny videos. And so it's just not funny videos. It's a thinking system. So you're going there for the mere fact of you're disconnecting from this anger, this frustration, right? The best thing that you love to hear.
Have you guys ever had that happen? Like if you have children, it's probably happened. You start to get angry at them and then they do this craziest thing and you just start laughing, right? And you can't be angry anymore. So think of it like that. Like we're really interrupting that anger pattern and something really funny.
And I think your kids know that's how they become comedians. That's how your partner becomes a comedian. Unconsciously, they don't want you to be hurting and in pain and in anger and disillusion and disappointment. They don't want you to there. So they will do something funny, something that, that pulls you out of that trance. So
hopefully that's better than the other option, making you more angry, right? So great.
Emotions that make you feel great. I mean, remember that time you got that trophy in the 3rd grade, you won the spelling bee. Remember that time that you won an award. Remember that time that that something happened and it gave you a great emotion. That maybe when you've asked your partner to marry you, or they asked you to, whatever it is, you get to find those opportunities, find those emotions and really marinate in that. And if you have any resistance, you know what to do, right? Find favorite smells. The smells are the easiest things that can take you to that place. That fresh cut grass on a Saturday morning, the cartoons with cereal in front of you at, age 5, like your brain just knows to go there and it gets you out of the trance. Some of, Roadrunner or whatever the cartoon you grew up with. The things that I'm really good at and help me feel accomplished. What is that superpower when you're helping someone, when you're extra gentle, when you oversee someone's honoriness? Like, does that make you feel good that you don't have to react to their hurts, their pains, that you can just step back? Like, that to me is like a superpower. Like, I can empathize and understand, but it doesn't take me there. What's another superpower, Tammy, for you?
Like some people are really good at math or spelling, or you might be naturally good at sizing up certain things. If you're into building or something, you might be like, yeah, that's going to be 300 square feet of it. So that superpower can be anything. Maybe you know all the stars in the universe. Maybe you know all the planets. Maybe like just think of anything that feels like, yeah, I know all of this, all the states, all the capitals. There's all the animal, something about a certain animal or about a certain vehicle, or maybe you know how to tear an engine apart and put it back together. Like, what leaves you feeling like, yeah, not everybody can do this. This is my power.
Right. Healthy foods that make you feel alive. You know that when you eat that particular smoothie or that particular salad, it just makes you feel like I'm being healthy. I'm making good choices. Those are things that could help you interrupt and renegotiate that part of your brain. Happy songs that I love to listen to, even make me dance. There's something there where when it makes you do dance, there's a physiology that is changing for you.
Right.
And then happy colors, what are your happy colors? Is it yellow? Is it bright blue? Is it, musty green in the lake? I mean, like, what is it for you? So have those ready, have your arsenal ready. These are your arsenal, your resources to be able to step into those memories. So now you want to find a situation that you no longer want. So we asked you to work on 5 last week. So you find one, you're just working on one today. Or if you notice that those 5 memories represent something, like I'm inadequate, I'm not good enough, I'm abandoned, I'm betrayed, you can just lump them all up. The brain knows, right? So you can just lump them up and give that a title. So you want to create columns for these questions below. So there's a belief, an emotion, and memory. So Tammy, you want to go through that one?
Yeah. Is it lower? Move it down. It seems like I remember it talking about it lower. Yeah, I think that this goes through it. So as we're going through it, you're going to want to fill in these columns. A belief would be something that is an I am statement. So anytime you think I am ugly, I am stupid, I am like unworthy, those are going to be your beliefs. Your emotions will tell you what your belief is. If you look at your emotions, you can really ask them questions and figure it out. And then your emotions are going to be, sad, let me see, disappointed, frustrated, angry, lost, those kinds of things. And then your memories are where we're going to dissect all of these things from. So
Very
when we
good.
go, yeah. So then what we're going to want to do is say that memory title out loud and notice it. Well, how do you know it's true? What did you see? What did you feel? What did you hear? And then you're going to use those columns. How strong is it? 0, doesn't bother you at all. 10, I am at peak emotion. And you could say, when's the first time I remember that same feeling? So something could have happened yesterday where you got really angry, but where did you first ever feel that? Say that title out loud. And the title, again, we try to make the titles neutral so that it's not like, my dad beat me. It could just be something like wherever you were in the lawn or in my bedroom or something. And what does this remind you of? Is there another memory that it reminds you of? And then what bad thing do I believe about myself? So that would go in the believe pile. And sometimes our beliefs don't come from what we really think, but what we think they think. Right? So when we're
Now,
like,
wait, say that again, because this is really big. Sometimes we don't see that or we don't hear that because we have a belief, but go ahead and say it again.
yeah. So sometimes our beliefs don't come from like, well, I believe I'm a peon, but if in the memory we're like, my boss thinks I'm a peon, then that's a belief. Okay. Because you're using a representation of them inside your head to feel a certain way about yourself. So notice what they're thinking about you too when you write out beliefs. What bad thing do I believe about myself? Oh, right here. What do they believe about me? That's also a belief. And then if you say that title out loud again, the one at the beginning, just notice if this feeling has a voice. The feeling of whatever comes up in that memory, if it had a voice, what bad thing would it say? Sometimes this takes a little diving into and getting really quiet and just saying, if this feeling had a voice, what would it say? And sometimes things just pop up right away for you.
And there's something's happening when you're visiting visiting this memory. And when you're visiting this memory, it's very important to be visiting in a calm, loving, patient. There's nothing right and nothing wrong to prove here. You're just allowing for this to arise so you can let go of it, right? So this is not a justification. It's just allowing you to process that.
Yeah. And so you can always remind yourself, I'm right here. And you can look for different, you can ask yourself, find something green, or, you can smell your good smell. It's just you noticing that there's resentment in the background that's holding you back. So, does the voice have a face? So sometimes when we have a bad feeling, and then what would this bad feeling say? It might say, I can't believe you're so inept at this. And then whose voice would that be? Well, it sounds like my dad. I used to say, what's wrong with you? Inside my head, I would say it all the time. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And then someone asked me this question, well, whose voice is it? Or put a face to that voice. And I was like, oh, that's not my voice. That's my dad's voice. And he probably only said it a few times, but it was enough that I just said it over and over to myself. So then say this memory out loud again. And what bad things do you feel? So these are your emotions. What bad things do you feel? Sad, betrayed, angry, disappointed, lost, fearful, jealous, painful. Those are your emotions. And then when you say the title again, and we're doing a logical process so that you don't get too deep into the emotions of it, because we want you to kind of go in and out of it. And that's part of the technique, is to like notice it and then go back and feel it, and notice it and go back and really see it and notice it. But we're coming kind of in and out. So when you close your eyes and say this memory title, if this situation is gone, then what bad thing would happen?
That's a big one, because we never really look at that. Because look, no one taught us how to process our emotions. No one said, okay, process this memory like this. Somehow we just managed it however which way we learned how to manage it in our family, which is getting pissed off. Like, it's easier to blame and get upset and be angry than it is to really look at what would happen if this situation was gone. Whatever it is that happened, your feelings got hurt, your parent rejected you. And if that situation, that feeling, that sensation, if that was gone, there's an identity crisis, unconscious identity crisis that is occurring right here. So I want you to be very aware that it's a natural process of that particular part of you has kept you alive, has kept you safe, has kept you in that marriage, has kept you in that family unit. The way you thought and the way you felt and what you perceived has kept you in that knit So now you're older and now you're an adult and you're going to be like, if this situation was gone, what bad thing would happen? Well, I might have to get a job. I might have to leave this person. I might have to get a divorce. What bad thing would happen? Because look, we're tooth and nail fighting for that bad thing not to happen. And guess what? It happens. We get angry. We get thrown in jail. We get restraining orders. So the bad. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. You can go.
No, we go.
Oh, so when we're angry, a lot of times we think if I wasn't angry, I would be alone, because we think we can force them to be with us or force them. And I see this a lot with people that have anger problems. And so what happens when the situation's gone, what bad thing would happen? A lot of us think we'll be alone. But what we're doing is creating us being alone by being angry, right? People leave and then they say, here we go again, here we go again. Well, yes. And now we're creating it instead of just worried that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So as you're writing 10 of these down, it's going to be an understanding that you will start to uncover and discover, like, oh, and you've been using this situation to avoid something, to not to take responsibility for your own emotions. That's kind of what I felt. The bad thing that would happen is I would have to be responsible for myself, right? And that's hard because you want other people to be, at least I wanted other people to be responsible for my happiness, for my happiness and my sadness. It's so much easier to be like, it's my wife's fault, it's my husband's fault. If this bad thing would happen, it's because they didn't do it right. They didn't love me the way I needed to be loved. And that's like a perception that just no one can love you, because we have to love ourselves to that level. And only then can someone love us. And they can only love us the best way they know how. And just to talk about love, it's better not to love someone. It's better to understand them. Who are they? What do they like? Instead of I love you, it's like, oh, I understand who you are. We're all human. We all have faults. We all have hurts. We all have pains. And if you can give that person that space, that's like love in my perception. Okay, so you write your 10 down and just notice what you're noticing. There's nothing good, nothing wrong, nothing, just you're understanding your process. You're understanding why that part of your brain has held that memory or that story, because it holds all this information, right? Yeah. Then after that, what do you do, Ms. Tammy?
I am looking forward to a better life. My desired outcome is. And so what would you rather have happen? And sometimes if we've been in this situation for a while and we've been doing it a certain way, this can be really difficult. So you might find yourself saying, well, I won't be living with this, and I won't be hearing that, and I won't be dealing with that. Okay, but the question really is, what is your desired outcome? Not what don't you want? What do you want? And so if your mind automatically, like most people, goes to what you don't want, ask, oh, what's the opposite of that? Because that'll just make it easier. So we have this longing and discontent, whatever it is, if it's a relationship, if it's finances, if it's your job, if it's your body, and so use the discontent to figure out what is it that you want. And what life will be like when this issue is gone. So this is called future pacing. And we want to know, like, who are you going to be? Where are you going to go? What's it going to be like to be around you? What are other people going to think about you? When you walk in a room, what's the impression you leave? When you leave a room, what's the impression you leave? So what is life like when everything's better? Yeah. You have your desired outcome.
And sometimes if your brain doesn't let you go there, you can just ease that part of that. You can do the stop technique and then come and visit, or you could borrow someone else's what you see that you admire in another couple, in another person. I love the way they handle, stress or anger, frustration. I love that they have a connective relationship. I love that they are always, they're generous. Whatever it is, borrow from someone else if you can not think about it.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what I want. I just don't want to be all the don'ts. That's
Yes,
normal. All
it
the
is
don'ts are
normal.
very normal.
It's
Right.
normal, and you'll find yourself doing it, and hopefully we caught you. And you can go, oh, yeah, because I remember just thinking, well, I don't want to be yelled at anymore, and I don't want to yell, I don't want to be whatever. And so then I have to change it. How do I want to be treated? That's
Yeah.
what I need to say. So, all right. So are you guys ready to let this go? Let's hear a big yes. Ready to let it go. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be your desire. Really let this go. And you know what? Maybe your life will completely change, but how could it not get better by letting go of resentments and past hurts and experiences that are changing, that are really changing who you are? They're not you, they're your experiences, but they're causing you to act in ways that you don't like, that aren't part of you, right? Good job. I love the yeses. So
Yes.
let's just take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and really feel it for the very last time. Notice how it bothers you. It's inside of you, isn't it? The pictures, the feelings, the sensations, the sounds. Hold on a second. If we walked into a pitch black room and I turned on all the lights, where would the darkness go? Away, right?
Go away.
Okay, good job. Do you want to do this, Rita?
Yeah. So what you want to do that moment is now you want to start, you can start doing your tapping. You go to one of your defracts, you go play a song, you go run to the end of the driveway, you come back, whatever it is. The fastest way I know how is just right between the eyes. You start tapping and you look up and you say, I eliminate, release, and let go of the sadness, this 10 feeling, this memory, whatever it is, I let it go. This sensation, I let it go. I'm safest to let it go. Take a deep breath in, blow it out, say peace. And to me, the more tapping you do, the better off you are. Now you want to go ahead and go look at your happy memory. Go feel your happy memory. Be there. Notice that. Hold your kitty and pet it and notice, is that a naked kitty or is that a doggy?
Yeah, he's hairless. He's one of my two.
Okay, the hairless, right? So now you've taken your focus off of the issue, the problem, how you know that memory bothers you. And so you give your little cat a massage or you go look for certain colors. You do some timetables. Maybe you balance your checkbook while you're there. Whatever you need to do to get the focus off of the problem issue. And then what happens? You go back to that memory that you're working on. 0, notice what's changed, notice what hasn't. 0, it doesn't bother me. 10, it's really strong. It could have been a 10 and somehow it miraculously went to a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2. Expect those kinds of shifts. Especially if you're doing the happy memory, you're doing the deep fry, you're going in, you're doing the process, you will get the physiology, the change in your body will happen. Very good. So that was step 1. And then step 2, you sussed it again, is what we call it. You figured out the distress level of it, and then you notice what it is. Okay, that 5, I let it go. That 5 feeling, that 5 sensation, that picture, whatever it is, the meaning I'm making it mean, I let it go. Safe as I let it go. Take a deep breath in, blow it out. Peace. And you don't want to get too caught on what do I say? Just let it go, let it flow, let it out, let it vent, switch it, flip it, make it nice again is good enough, right?
That's a lot.
Not if you memorize it. So now you want to find that, now about this time, you're going to notice that, I feel sad, I feel disappointed, I feel disrespected, I feel hurt. So what you want to do is you want to look at the opposite of that sensation or that feeling or that negative belief. So so what's the opposite of sad or disappointment? Maybe just maybe you start tapping, maybe just maybe I can be content. Maybe just maybe I can let this go. It doesn't serve me anymore. I let it go. Take a deep breath in, blow it out, say peace, right? Then you go again. You go to your happy memory. You spend some time there. You play some music. You run around your truck a couple times. You go chop some wood.
Yeah.
You go count your hats. Are those caps back there? Are those like baseball caps,
On Roddy.
Roddy?
Or are they buckle belts?
No, they're wrestling belts.
Yeah. So you can stand in front of your wrestling belts and you could be like 1995, 1980. Well, I don't know if you're that old. So,
It's like this happened yesterday.
It's 2000. So you go look at that. We put things around our
Proud.
homes to remind us of good times. And so use those to your benefits. So now that you go and you defrag, now you come back and you notice the memory, notice what's changed, notice what has in that memory, the title that you gave it, and then you go again, and then you want to keep doing this until the memory has been changing, it's been flipping, and let's see here. Yep, just keep doing it, and then once it gets to a 0, you have a couple options. Either your brain flipped it all automatically, so now it's not your mom yelling at you during Thanksgiving dinner. And now it's like, oh, now your brain lets you notice the good stuff, the happy stuff, right? It lets you focus on other things. I no longer got an F on my paper. This time the F was called fantastic, and it was in red lettering, right? So that could automatically flip or change, or you could consciously, manually change it, right? You want to talk about that, Tammy?
Right. So once the emotion's out of it, see, it's the emotion that really drives the feeling inside of us. So once that's down, then we can use our imagination, which it's one of the things that separates us from animals is that we can imagine things, right? We can use our imagination to say, oh, if, maybe I had a magic wand, what would I have wanted? And then you could say, oh, well, I would want to win 3 wrestling belts that day. And so then you can just replay that in your mind. You know what it's like to win a wrestling belt. So you just add that into that memory. So we do this all the time, but we typically do it for negative things. We add negative things in, right? So go back and notice the little you winning this wrestling tournament and being really super happy. And mom and dad are cheering you on, or, whatever it is for you. So once the emotion's out, you can consciously make this decision to add some imagination and something that would have been really beneficial, something you would want your child or your grandchild or your niece or nephew or some other child to feel if they were you.
Yeah, and then you give that a new title, and you add a song to the new title, the new memory. Find the 3 emotions that are now being allowed to come out. So maybe you feel love and connected. Maybe you feel secure. Maybe you feel, bright. You feel like you're smart. So get those 3 memories, that 3 sensations or feelings or beliefs that are inside that memory. And then you want to do the integration?
Yes. So now at this point, you're going to want to invite the little you over for a hug, or maybe somebody else that would be in the memory. And really, when everything is released and it's all turned around and it's good, it will be easy to do that. So if you have resistance with that, then you need to go back and tap. But if you're like, oh, can I have a hug, Dad? And Dad's like, yeah, and he picks you up and spins you around, everything's fine. If there's resistance and you're like, I'm not ever going to hug that person, or even the little you doesn't deserve a hug because they were naughty or bad or something, and go back and tap until this child is doing good things, until the little you is doing good things, until the past you, until the past everyone. The reason is, guys, these are just images in your head now. They're not happening. So you can say this really happened, but I can say it's not happening now. But your body is reusing it to make you feel bad, right? So it's important that you go back and ask the little you, like, can I have a big hug? And if the little you says yes, then invite them over. We like to wrap our arms around just to really mimic it, that, you know, we are hugging the little us or the other, any person in the memory. Invite them over for a hug. Just feel their arms around you. And then tell them something that they really needed to hear. You're loved, you're wanted, you're so important, you're the most important thing in my life, you're a champion, you're a hero. What did they really need to hear? You're so valuable, you're a treasure. Something positive that you know that if they heard this, they would believe it about themselves. They would say, like, yeah, that's what I'm really trying to be. And then let the little you or the other person tell you something that you need to hear. Okay. And if it's I'm sorry, let's go back, because the memory needs to be so good that it's really going to, it's a fine to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to let go of the sorry, and we're just going to have a good time instead. Peace. Okay. And then go back and listen. What do you really need to hear from them? You're amazing. I trust you. I believe in you. You're incredible. Right? And then squeeze them tighter and tighter. You can push them right into your heart. Feel them go inside you as this new identity of yourself, this new identity that's being held inside you of a loving, kind person and a loving, younger version of yourself. Take a deep breath in, blow it out in peace. And this part might feel a little fluffy, a little woo-woo for you guys, but I really want you to understand the importance of integrating happy people into your past life, getting a positive message from them, because it's not them that's going to be doing this to you, it's yourself. It's not happening now, so everything that you replay is you doing this to yourself. So it's good to let it go. Good job, Roddy. Roddy says he's catching himself. Things aren't triggering him as much and affecting him like they used to. And he was even tapping in the restaurant the other day. Good. It's just an interruption. And if it becomes easy, isn't that so much better than all this fighting and trying and accusing and blaming and guilt and everything else that we do when we stay in a negative pattern? So much easier. And that's what we really want for you. I love hearing that. Good job.
Very good. So what you want to do now is that you have your new memory, you have that memory integrated, you've forgiven yourself for using it against yourself, and you make peace. You want to make peace, like Tammy was saying, with everyone in that memory, because you're the director, you're the movie director, you're the character, you're the villain, you're the good, the bad, and the ugly. So make peace with yourself in all those levels. Practice that new happy memory 12 to 15 times a day. First thing in the morning, you're going to go and you're going to integrate with that little you, and you're going to tell that little you, I love you, and all is well. And remember that happy memory. Every time you visit that memory, it has to be bigger and brighter and nicer and more empowering, more intentionally, because now you are taking control of your brain. Right? Now you are directing your brain. You've set the GPS to, gratefulness, to happiness, to contentment. First thing in the morning, when you wake up, that is where you want to go. That is where you want to go. Then I don't know if we officially said it, but in the prior class, we says you want to have your peace journal. All this stuff needs to go into your peace journal, where you're putting your happy memories, you're putting all those great quotes that you love, the things that you want to do in the future, the things that you want to enjoy. Use your peace journal. We call it a happy journal, but in this class, it's your peace journal. You want to write that down, and you want to write it down like I see it, I feel it, I understand it, I hear it. You want to use all those sensory acuities. And when you're out somewhere new, I want you to use that peace journal to journal inside that at that moment in that time. So if you guys are going on vacation, get your little peace journal and take it with you, and do some gratitudes, appreciate that moment, and you'll remember it much more vivid than before. So that there, guys, is what we call like working on yourself. That's you working on you. That's changing yourself. Not like there was something wrong before, but like there's something to live towards and live for. So yeah, and there, I was going to go over another way of doing it, but I think maybe practice this one, and really, you have 5 memories, so you just worked on one, so work on the next 4, and do this process, and flip those memories. Your life will change for sure, as some of you have already attested to that and have that accomplished. So is there any other questions, comments, or concerns about that?